Reading this story that just broke out about Mamdani is making me sick to my stomach. I didn't have a lot of high hopes, but this feels like a low blow because Zoron spent so much of his time just pandering about how he doesn't want to defund the police and that those old tweets weren't reflective of the environment that he wants to create for this future of his administration. But that seems to have gone completely out the window because that was a lie because of what just came out. And we got to talk about it. So, welcome back to the show. Please like, subscribe, turn on the bell, and let's jump right in. So, look what the cat dragged in. According to new reports from the Post, I'll read the headline: Mamdani taps defund the police champion to head team steering his transition to NYC mayor. Huh. Now, surely this can't be true because Zoran let me and everyone else know how much he values law and order, right? So this has to be a fraudulent headline, right? Well, look at this. We are demanding the mayor to act immediately to reduce the NYPD operating budget by $1 billion in fiscal year 2021 and reallocate the money to essential social services, including housing support and rental relief, food assistance, and healthcare. This is what Leopold, a former senior advisor and campaign strategist for de Blasio and others, wrote. And Alana Leopold, in case you don't remember, she is the executive director of the all-female transition team, right? Look at that. And in case you were wondering, like, oh man, does the source material actually say this? Is this just like a misrepresentation of what just happened? Well, according to letter to the mayor.nyc, these are the demands. And would you look at that? Her name right here, as bright as daylight. This is just not a good look. And again, the reason this matters is because when you have someone who leads with such disregard for law and order, criminals will begin to catch your drift because they will know that you will be lenient towards them. And what happens when they figure that out?
The demand of $1 billion is not because that is the amount of money that will solve everything. It comes out of an understanding that policing is something that does not create safety. And what we need to do is reinvest into things that are proven indicators and creators of safety. And the city council budget did not do that. And it's just mind blowing. They cut 1 out of 4 cadet classes next year. The headcount of the police department will go up next year. How we can call this a serious cut to the police is beyond me.
Well, maybe we're already seeing the effects of this. Look what I just saw from the Post. Victim stabbed twice in Times Square, NYC, in broad daylight, police say. There is a video to accompany this, but it is just far too graphic, so I'm not going to play it. But I genuinely think we're already seeing the effects of Mamdani winning. Granted, he hasn't taken office yet, of course, but I think the culture shift has already taken place in the same way that President Trump didn't take office until January of this year. December still felt different. November still felt different because the culture had already shifted. Jim Wadden says, I'm speechless. I really believed Joe Mamdani when he said, don't believe the hundreds of times that I called for defunding NYPD and blaming them for every societal ill. Yeah, right. And of course, he's not wrong. But you know what? At least the governor is doing everything she can to reel him in. Right. Governor Hochul recently met with the mayor-elect a few days ago, and things have been a bit abrasive recently, which has been interesting because she's out here trying to lay down the law, right? Because someone has to. But look at what I just saw from Bloomberg. Look at this. New reports say that Governor Kathy Hochul is considering raising corporate taxes to help fund Zoran Mamdani's agenda. This could be funding universal childcare, something that has been popularized by the state of New Mexico, the first state, in fact, to offer it. But of course, the downsides to this could be businesses looking to avoid doing business in the city, which unfortunately we are seeing right now already. Amazon has officially cut 700 jobs from NYC alone. And the reason I think this is just so important to bring up is because when you talk about solutions to some very real problems that do exist in our society that we need to talk about, but whenever we actually consider the solutions being more taxes, especially at a moment when major companies are already pulling the cord and getting out of New York as fast as possible, this seems like it could be possibly dangerous for the future. And I do hope I'm wrong, but people like Elise Stefanik, genuinely do not think so. Lee Stefanik, Republican running for governor in New York against current governor Kathy Hochul, has this to say about her. Look at this. Kathy Hochul will bend the knee to the radical socialists and double down on the catastrophic policies making New York the most unaffordable state in the nation. Mark my words, she will raise taxes on New Yorkers, and then she will be fired in 2026. She will raise taxes. Words, I dread words I never want to hear. And let's not forget that Kathy Hochul did help create the reality that is Zoran Mamdani, the Mamdani effect. Look at her.
With your help, we will elect Zoran, and we take back America. Thank you, Queens. Thank you, New York. I love you guys.
Look at that. Elect Zoran Mamdani and take back America. Take back America to what? I thought prosperity was good. Yet what socialism does is it actually robs people of the ability to go and create for themselves, right? And it's just terrible. But is all hope lost? You know what? I actually don't think so, because President Trump just said that he wants to see everything work out for New York and their residents, and that Zoran wants to come to DC. So look at this.
The mayor of New York, I will say, would like to meet with us and we'll work something out. But he would like to come to Washington and meet, and we'll work something out. We want to see everything work out well for New York.
So is President Trump going to need to take control from DC? You know what? I wouldn't be completely opposed to it. Okay. I mean, we are talking about the guy who virtually ended the decades-long crime that was just through the roof in a matter of days in the District of Columbia. His threat to move into California did push Gavin Newsom to get his act together, and we've seen some similar developments in the city of Chicago and the city of San Francisco. So do I think that all hope is lost? I do not. I wouldn't make these videos if I didn't believe that the future was brighter and full of hope. So I am believing that good things will happen. Maybe President Trump will be part of this. Maybe his relationship to the city that he also grew to love many, many years ago will be fruitful in the future. All right. So that's where I'm standing, and I'd love to know where you are standing in all this in the comment section. And hey, if you made it this far, please like, subscribe, turn on the bell, and we'll see you all next time.
Episode's over already? Geez, that was fast. Well, they say beautiful things do not last forever, but feel free to watch and listen to another one of these episodes if you're interested in those conversations as well. Also, this next part is huge. Make sure to obliterate that like and subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never skip a beat. I also have a newsletter where we dive into the news, politics, and ideas that shape our future. If you're interested in signing up, I'd really appreciate that. Anyways, that's the end of this episode. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and I'll see you next time.